Excuse me. Okay, so this is me doing a test run of a new system. I set up rendering things takes like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and I think I'm still gonna do it. I just wanted a way to be like quick and uh, uh, like a grungy. Just actually, it looks pretty good. But just a better way to get content out without having to run it through my machine, because normally I record a video, then I have to load that into um, Premiere to trim it, and then After Effects to, well, you guys don't need to know that. But anyways, this will save me a lot of time, ultimately, because I'm using OBS, and it lets your computer be like a little mini producing studio. So yeah, let's see how this works. So to do this test run, I came up with 3 verses that I think really help with the hopelessness of today's age. Sorry, like my webcam's up here and I'm like looking at my screen and everything. I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of hopelessness running around with a lot of people that I really think want to be Christian. They just don't know how to be Christian. They don't know how to ask to be Christian. Because to be Christian is ultimately to be possessed by God, and that gives us power and a further authority over our day-to-day lives, and also changes us so that way our lives are emotionally fruitful, is the best way to put it. A lot of people think you need money to be happy, and money is a factor. Like when you don't have money, you get stress, and stress causes a lot of pressure on your life. I'm not trying to deny that at all, but part of being Christian and living like a Christian, most importantly, causes happiness to be a byproduct. So just by living like a Christian, which is to kind of just dedicate yourself towards goodness, true pure goodness, results in just a lot of grace over your life. But I don't want to confuse you or bog you down. That's not what I came here to talk about today. I don't like talking about things that I'm not prepped for. I'll just end up confusing you and being one of those leaders or shepherds that cause you to be more frustrated than when you first started, and that's not what I want to be. But here's the Bible verses, and I guess if you're new, I'm very big on the philosophy of Christianity and using it the same way like a legendary samurai would, like a mythical samurai, or a Jedi even. So I use these verses to get myself through the hard times. But so these I think are relative today, and I think they'll give people who are sad hope, and people who are new to Christianity insight. So let's see if I can do this right. And I'm recording. Okay, cool. So, oh, my thingy's not on. Haha! I don't know if that's better or worse. But I made it, so I put it up. Okay. From Psalm 119, 105. And Psalm was written by King David, if you know the story of David and Goliath. Woo, my background just like came to life all of a sudden. Okay. That's interesting. It says, your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. So that's just some good poetry. David spent his time playing on his harp, and it's just talking about how the Word of God is alive and alive within you, and by knowing it, it'll help illuminate and keep you protected from darkness, which can be depression and anxiety and kind of like a ruefulness. So yeah, so if you're feeling depressed and alone and sad, there's a lot of good places in the Bible where you can find upliftingness. If the Bible causes you stress and strife, maybe instead of reading the Bible, spend time with a Christian, and then bring all your emotional frustrations to them. And if that Christian doesn't help, go to a different one. There's a lot of good people here who can like look into your eyes, like almost like a cartoon character, like an Uchiha from Naruto, or like, you know, a Jedi detecting what's going on with you. And they'll just be able to help and tell you what's on your heart and how to fix it. I do that with a lot of my friends. I also pray for a lot of my friends too. You can pray for yourself, that your life goes in a direction that you want. But yeah, as you find the scriptures that really help you, it can really protect you against failure and sadness and feelings of being lost. Okay, so the next one, this will be really short, it's just 3 verses. Alright, this is from 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. And I went and actually looked that up. I went to there's websites that have the Bible in its original version, like the original language it was written in. This was written in 2 Timothy was New Testament, so it's written in Greek. And spirit of power and love and self-control. So the term for love is agape here. The Bible actually, the Greeks have 3 words for love in that are used in the Bible. And agape means unconditional love. So God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and unconditional love and self-control. So I feel like that's important, because what's the first thing they teach you in psychology is that all children need unconditional love. They might do bad things and you want to correct it, but a good parent will always say, I love you unconditionally. Mine certainly did, even when they got really mad at me. And even when they lost their temper, they'd apologize later, you know, when they cooled down a bit. And I want to tell you guys that I love you too. That's not permission to like show up at my house. That's not permission to, you know, it's not permission to like be obtuse or be silly about it, I should say. But yeah, I want you to know that as somebody who's trying to give you spiritual food and spiritual philosophy that you can live on the same way like a spiritual samurai or knight or swordsman would. I hope that you find yourself in Christianity so you can have a lot of the same power and spiritual wealth I have, because even on my darkest days I can feel my spirit, because I'm possessed by God, regenerating. It's very, very, very hard. My life has not had a lot of success in making me feel down or depressed, and a lot of my friends will tell you that. In class they said, like, haven't you ever felt anxiety or depression? And I'm like, like once or twice. I think I felt anxiety a couple times. One of my relationships that I thought was going to end in marriage didn't work out, so I got anxious over that and sad and depressed for a little while. But no, it's living like a Christian, living according to the path of the philosophy of Christianity that has caused my life to be straight and narrow like a samurai's blade. Okay, let's go on to the third one. Oh, I have to do the thingy. Okay, there we go. This is from Romans 12, chapter 2. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. And this one I went and looked at the original translation too. This is Romans 12:2. And it actually says in the original translation what is good and not, it doesn't say acceptable, it actually says well-pleasing. It puts two words into one. So kind of like well-pleasing would be like a refined delight. So what is the will of God? What is good, has refined delightfulness, and perfect. So there's an uplifting note. Because acceptable is like, it's kind of flat, you know, like whatever is acceptable. But well-pleasing is uplifting. It's a term that inspires joy and happiness and kindness, and that's a major factor of God. So yeah, let's read that one more time. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect. And that's it for now. So yeah, so I hope that's a good test episode, and if not, I hope it wasn't a horribly bad test episode. Alright, I love you guys.